Hello friends, welcome back to Faith and Arrow Homestead. My name is Jaylee and today is a day that I'm actually feeling pretty emotional about. So first, it is moving week. Let's go ahead and get that out there. So today is Monday. We have to be out of this house next Thursday. So we actually have over a week, but Tom and I have decided we don't want to push it till the last minute. We actually don't really want to move at all next week. We want to just be able to come into the house, have it be empty, clean it and everything, and be staying at the townhouse already. So with that being said, this week during the week, I'm going to move as much stuff over to the townhouse as I can. And then on Saturday, we are getting a U-Haul. We've got some friends and family members coming. We're going to take all the furniture where it's going. Some of it's coming to the townhouse, some of it's going to the storage unit. And yeah, so we'll be all moved out of this house and actually staying at the townhouse starting on Saturday. So we're so happy that it worked out this way. This is the way that we wanted it to work out. I've got this entire week to not just pack boxes and move them to the townhouse. I can actually pack and then put away rooms. So we're actually starting in the kitchen, which is not how I expected this to go. I thought the kitchen was going to be one of the very last rooms to move, but we're both very anxious to get started because it does feel like it's starting to press in on us, like this is really happening soon. And the townhouse needed a little bit of work. There are some rooms that we have people that we've hired to come in and do some things with, and so those rooms are not ready for us to move into. The kitchen is in great shape, nothing needs done, and it is ready for us to move into. So that's where I'm going to start today. And I'm just going to leave some pans here, a spatula, paper plates, plastic silverware, a couple of cups, just the very, very, very bare minimal to get us through this week. And everything else is getting moved over to the townhouse. Anyway, yeah, so that's what this video is going to be, kind of packing up and taking a couple trips over to the townhouse. I think I should probably be able to get everything in about 2 trips. I'm not going to do the fridge today, I don't think. I'm also feeling pretty emotional about this because as I was setting up my camera just now and hit record, I was like, wow, this is the last time, the last day at least, that I'm going to be doing this. We have been together on this YouTube channel for over 3 years now, and I have filmed a lot of content in this kitchen and have spent so much time with you guys in this kitchen. So to be turning the camera on for the last time in this kitchen is definitely giving me the feels. But I just keep reminding myself that change is a good thing, especially when it's change that's within God's will. And we're on to the next. So I'm excited about it, but also making sure that I live in the moment and feel the feels and appreciate everything that there is to appreciate. So, all right, let's do this. Oh, by the way, 26 weeks. So I am using Dixie right now. Dixie is my 94 Chevy Blazer. Tom has a newer Tacoma that I had mostly been using to try and move stuff. Obviously, you can fit way more stuff in a full-size truck versus trying to fit stuff just in my Blazer. But it was starting to get really difficult for me to get in and out of his truck, the bed of it, that is, which is where I was primarily loading stuff and then having to unload stuff. It was getting to be very challenging. So we decided I'm switching to Dixie, and we will reserve Tom's truck for when he's with me and he can hop in and out of the bed of the truck. These cups are a great example of exactly how I wanted this to go. No paper, I'm not even closing this box. It's gonna stay just like this. It's going in the truck. We're gonna go a mile down the road, and it's gonna go from my cabinet to the new cabinet at the townhouse. And this is not formal packing. And then once it's unloaded there, I'm gonna bring this box back and fill it with other stuff. I bought this stainless steel pan from Goodwill. I had posted on Instagram asking for recommendations, and I was planning on buying one. I decided against purchasing one because the good ones are so expensive and we're really trying to save every single dollar. So I was stoked when I found that at Goodwill for just a few dollars. I'm not going to cook with cast iron in the townhouse because it naturally smokes and it sets our fire detectors off all the time, which I don't care. We live in a house, but now that we're going to be attached to somebody, it just feels rude. So I'm going to be giving up my cast iron and I'm going to have to learn how to cook with stainless steel, which I should know how to do that anyway. So I think it would be a good opportunity for me. But as it stands right now, I don't know how to cook with stainless steel, so I'm going to have to learn that. Now, here's a task I've really been looking forward to doing, and that is my spice cabinet. I'm sorry, I know you can't really see. I'm working on purchasing a wide angle lens because I really dislike this camera lens. But this is my spices, and I don't think you'll be able to see, but they're in this one too. Oh yeah, you can kind of see. So this is more of my baking spices, and this is more of my cooking spices. That's how I separated it. I very much dislike this way of storing spices. It's never been something I've liked. It's a high up, deep cabinet. I have a hard time reaching anything above the second level, and because it's deep, I forget what's back there. Things expire, things don't get used. I buy multiple of things. I don't like it. And I have this dream of someday having all of these in pretty matching containers, having one row, open shelving where I can just reach, or even if it's not open, I don't know, but where I can just reach and be like, oh, here's my garlic, here's my onion, here's my cumin, like whatever it is, and it's labeled, it's pretty. I don't have some things in mason jars, some things in the containers they came in, some things in plastic, and having really no idea what I even have. So I'm excited for this task because this is going to give me an opportunity to go through all of this and really see what I actually have. Unfortunately, it's going to be the exact same type of storage at the townhouse. It's still going to just be a cabinet by the stove. But hopefully in the future when we're at our new property, Tom and I can figure out something different, something more along the lines of what I'm envisioning. We're packing her up. This is I can't. I'm like literally having all the feels today that this is happening. Crazy. So this is one area that I'm actually quite proud of. We have, again, this lens, I'm sorry. We have this cabinet and it's actually, so it comes up to right here, just like you can almost see, it's taller than me and it goes all the way to the floor, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places, shelves in here to put things. And there's also a whole other one up here, and it's very difficult for me to reach anything up there. And that's where I used to have my baking supplies, and then I wisened up about, might have been 2 years ago now, and put, this is my baking supply shelf now. I don't like this cabinet. I like how tall it is. It's very deep, and it's not practical. It's hard for me to get back there to get the stuff in the back. I forget it's back there. And if something spills, it takes me molasses had spilled back there. God only knows how long it had been back there before I realized it had happened. It had dripped all down the back. It was a mess. And so, I don't want that, like, this does not work. I've been homemaking and keeping a functional kitchen long enough now to start to understand like what I like and what I don't like and what works and what doesn't. This does not work. So I know for a fact wherever we end up, even if it's not the way that we want it right away, Tom and I are going to be intentional about making some of these changes that will really make our lives easier, better, more enjoyable. And this is an example of that. However, going back, I organized it. I organized it back when we were working on putting the house on the market, and we were getting the kitchen ready because this all had to be cleared out so it could be painted. So the baking shelf is good. This has snacks. It has like s'more stuff and chips and stuff. This is where I keep all of my parchment paper, foil, plastic bags, cereal down there, and then just bags down there. So it's actually so nice and organized, and I have really enjoyed having it be organized. Once again, another lesson I've learned about how much more enjoyable everyday tasks are when things like this are done. When things are organized, clean, You have a good idea of what's going on. It just makes everything so much more enjoyable and everyday mundane tasks easier. And so I'm really glad that I've had the opportunity to live with the house like this so I could really see and understand, oh my gosh, this is the way to be. Wow, we're making great progress in the kitchen. This is so exciting. It's gonna be so surreal to be in another kitchen. I can't wait to show you the townhouse kitchen because y'all have been in this little shoebox kitchen with me for years now. And the townhouse kitchen, although temporary, and I realize that, it's so much bigger. It's funny because this house is so big. It's over 1,800 square feet, and the townhouse is probably, it's one level. If you don't include the basement, it's probably 900 and some change, maybe 1,000 square feet. Much smaller, but the layout is so very different that the kitchen is so much bigger. I can't wait to show it to you. You're gonna see it in this video, and I can't wait to show you. Okay, just got in the truck, and we're pretty full, and making the first trip to the townhouse. We've not brought anything over there yet except a box fan so the carpets that we got cleaned could dry. Otherwise, none of our stuff is there yet. So this is the first official trip with stuff to the townhouse. Okay, we are here in the new kitchen. I'm just gonna film this on my phone because if I use my camera, you're not gonna get the full effect because of the crappy lens. So this is the kitchen. We've got this area over here with the fridge, nice countertop, lots of storage. And then you pivot, you've got the range there, more storage, sink, more storage, nice beautiful countertops and backsplash. And then you have even more storage, you know, in this bit of countertop here. Actually, let me come around here. That's where they keep the microwave. The microwave is down there. And then as you just saw, when you're coming around here, this turns into the dining room. And there is a nice patio, I guess back deck right there. This is where the dining room table is gonna go. And yeah, not bad space. You know, very townhouse if you ask me, but it's going to be great. Now you might be noticing there's still stuff in here, and that's because we are still in the process of clearing out some of the stuff from the previous occupant. And yeah, but that's okay. I'm just gonna pile it all together in one area because it's not a lot, it's just kind of strewn about. So I'm gonna pile it probably over here somewhere and get started. But actually the very first thing I wanna do, let me show you the floors. So really nice, I mean, it's not real wood. It's probably like that like vinyl wood, that vinyl tile that looks like wood, I guess. But it's new actually. And it just really needs to be cleaned, and it's all throughout here. I'm not gonna give you the full tour right now, but it's all throughout here. So I wanna go ahead and get that clean. That's one of the things that Tom and I have been doing is dealing with the floors. Some of the carpet, some of the rooms are carpeted and we just had them cleaned. One of the rooms, actually the carpet needed to be replaced. And so we've been dealing with that. But in here, these floors are fine and they're really nice. They just need to be cleaned. So here I've got this thing. I don't know if I've ever shown you this before on my channel, but this is my Bissell Crosswave. Not sure if you've ever heard of it. It was making its rounds on the internet there for a while. It's a multi-surface floor cleaner. It's supposed to be able to work on rugs and carpet. I have tried to use it on the carpet once. It was okay. I don't know that I'd recommend it for carpet though. There's probably other better carpet cleaners out there. It works real good on hard floors, tile, hardwood, you know, whatever your floor is made out of. And so that's primarily what I use it for. When I clean my floors, I usually will just do a sweep and a Swiffer. But then every now and then when I really want to go through and deep clean, really clean my floors, I will use my Bissell Crosswave. And it comes with a solution, and I'm almost out of this, so I'm gonna have to either buy more or figure out what I want to replace it with. And it's got a reservoir here, and I use hot water. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do that before I get into anything else because I really want these floors to be nice and clean. I'm gonna have to watch my head because actually I'm 5 foot and I can actually hit my head on this chandelier that they have here. So anyway, I swept when I was here the other day. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started with the Bissell. Okay, I just wanted to show you, I'm all done. I did almost the entire place. There's just a couple of, the little front bathroom I didn't get to, but otherwise I did the whole place. And I mean, this thing really works. Look at that, that's disgusting. So I usually, at the old house, I dump it down the garage drain. I'm not sure if this place has that because there's a big mat in the garage. So I'm gonna dump it in the toilet. I think that's fine. I think that's an okay way to dispose of this, right? So I'm gonna do that, but yeah, this thing works real good. I'll have it linked in the description if you're interested. Okay, here's my thought. So we've got the area where the camera is set up right now. It's got the stove, countertop, sink, countertop, and I want to keep all food related things over there. Like the spices are gonna go over there. And there's a Lazy Susan next to the stove, and so all of that's going to be like oven mitts and spices and that stuff. Over here, this is where I want to put my appliances. This is going to be very interesting for me because my KitchenAid mixer, my grain mill, those things are in the dining room back at the other house because I had no counter space. And so I kept all of my overflow appliances in the dining room. I don't have that here. And so we're gonna have to find a way to actually store all of those things here in the kitchen, which I think is actually really exciting. And I'm really excited to see how that's gonna go. Even the microwave, the coffee pot, all of it's in the dining room. So it's gonna be fun to have everything actually in the kitchen. So yeah, we're going to do coffee, here, microwave is in that little nook, so that's fine. Coffee's gonna go here. KitchenAid mixer is gonna go here. Grain mill's gonna go through here. Toaster oven's gonna go here. So this is gonna be pretty full of appliances. I'm not gonna really do any food prep over here. There's plenty of counter space over on the other side to do food prep and things like that. And then that means I want these cabinets to be plates, bowls, cups, pots and pans, you know, whatever. I'm gonna have that be over here. Silverware is actually already kind of got a setup of it here. And then overflow tongs and spatulas and can opener and those things are going to be going in these drawers here. There's 4 of them. This is gonna be the silverware one. This one's already kind of a junk one. And this one's got towels in it. So I think that this will work out nice. That's what I'm thinking for setup in this kitchen. Gosh, it's just so very interesting to try to get like a flow in a new kitchen. So how fun. But now that the floors are done, I'm going to go ahead and start bringing stuff in from the car, and I'm just going to load it up here. I just moved everything because you guys saw there was stuff kind of strewn about. I put it all on this counter over here because that still needs to get gone through and donated or taken. Yeah, so that's messy over there, but we're gonna at least get this set up here. There's so much storage space, and I'm just not used to it. So I'm having to think about like, this is kind of hard trying to figure out where to put things. I actually think I just want to keep this for pots down here. So I think I'm going to put all of my other assorted things over in this one, like strainers and whatnot, so that I've got room to put all my pots in here and we're not having to split them up. These big cabinets make it look like we don't have any stuff. Gosh, I'm just like, it's so funny because back at our old house, I felt like it was cluttered, like we had too much. Like I was even thinking about getting rid of these plates. I might still get rid of these plates. because it felt like we just had so much, but that's nothing. So it feels so weird. It feels so strange. I went through my Tupperware, got rid of almost all of the plastic, and switched over to glass, which is what I've wanted to do. There are still a few plastic containers that I like that I kept, not many, so I always put those in the back because they're not what I'm grabbing first. They're really more overflow or for something very specific. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick those in the back, and then I've got all of my nice glass ones that I keep front and center. Those are the ones that I'm regularly reaching for. A lot of them are in the dishwasher right now from where we had that cookout. So I'll have to bring those over another time. And just like I said, all of these boxes, I haven't done the spices yet. I'm actually gonna run home, get some lunch, probably pack a few more things and come back. But just like I said, I'm able to reuse the same few boxes because I packed these, unpacked them, and now I can take them right back home with me to fill up with more stuff. And it's such a blessing that we're getting to do it this way, because then I'm not having to worry about having a bunch of boxes, which just so happens that we do have a ton of boxes because we've been collecting them and people have been giving them to us. But we did not buy any boxes, any packing paper, nothing like that, because we're getting to do it this way and we're so blessed. So I'm gonna take this home, get some lunch, and we will see where we go from there. Okay, I just packed up our coffee station, leaving obviously the essentials, a couple of mugs and Tom's work mugs, and crock pots. Now it's time to move on over here. This is my kitchen overflow that I was telling you about. So here's my KitchenAid mixer as well as my hand mixers, all my casserole dishes I keep in here, my grain mill, and all of my baking stuff is over here, my bannetons, my cooling racks and whatnot. I am not going to take that just yet because I use my grain mill every day, and there's my grain, and I have to figure out exactly how I want to do that. Have not decided. But all of this over here, except maybe a casserole dish, this can all go. So I'm gonna go ahead and pack this up. I don't think that we're keeping these cabinets. I don't think we're keeping them. Maybe I'll change my mind. They came with this house. We didn't pick these out. And they just fit this wall so well. Moving on to the spices and the oils and whatnot, I was planning on doing spices here and oils here, and the Lazy Susan is down here. I wasn't planning on really using the Lazy Susan. I think that's really just today that I was feeling that, because bending over is getting a lot harder and it's so low that I was kind of like, I'm not going to use this right now. I want to be able to go up, not down. But I think that decision has been made for me because most of these things are not fitting in terms of like the oils and stuff. So I think I'm going to have to put these things down in the Lazy Susan. Okay, wait, I just thought of something actually. Where am I going to put my flour and my sugar and those things that are in that baking cabinet that I showed you? Where are those gonna go? They're not gonna really fit in that those cabinets really well either. Should I put them in the top of the Lazy Susan here? I don't really use these things all that often. I mean, the olive oil, I guess I probably do, and this would probably, does this fit up here? Okay, I think I'm gonna put the olive oil up in the cabinet with the spices because I actually do use that frequently, but the rest of this, every once in a while. So I think I might actually put these things down in the bottom of the Lazy Susan, which is literally going to be so out of sight, out of mind. But if there's a recipe where I know I need them, I'll know they're there. I just won't see them all the time. And I think I'm going to use this for my flour and my sugar and things like that. I think. I'm just gonna have to live in it for a little while. It's tough because I'm trying to make all these decisions because I'm wanting to like start moving stuff in, but I don't actually know what's gonna work yet. So I'm just gonna have to wait and see how it goes, I guess, and I'll probably make changes along the way, and you guys will probably be along the ride for that. Okay, here we go with the spice cabinet, and this was the last thing that I was going to do today, and so I'm going back home after this, but I am so pleased with how that looks. That is so nice and organized. The way that I did it, I put the most used things in the very front, and in the back behind these larger containers are things that like I never use. Like there's whole celery seed back there, never use that kind of stuff. But these are mostly all of my larger refill containers, but then I like will drop and break these. I've done that a couple times. And so I end up just using the big containers. I don't have smaller ones. And so that's really nice and organized. And then up here, I have my tea stuff and my baking stuff. I left a little bit of room right here because I do still have my baking powder, my baking soda, my cinnamon, a little bit of room right here because my garlic, my onion, my pepper, my salt. So left a little bit of room, and then up at the very top is stuff that I didn't feel like dealing with. But yeah, I feel really good about this. I think this is really nice and organized, and I can't believe how much we got done in this kitchen today, guys. This is nuts. So I still have to get my grain mill over here and figure out what I'm doing with that. I'm not keeping my big buckets of wheat berries in the kitchen or in the dining room like I do at the other house. And so I'm gonna have to figure out what to do about that. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm gonna put the grain mill over here on this counter with the KitchenAid like I said, which by the way, look how cute. Oh, I love, look at her, she's out. She has a home. I love to see it. That makes me so happy. And up here I ended up putting the plates and the bowls together down here on the bottom so that I could put the rest of my mixer stuff here above my big mixer. And I've got pie plates and bread pans over there. And there's more stuff that I need to bring, but that was a good start. Yeah, this makes me so happy. But what I was saying, I don't know if I'm gonna put my grain mill here or if I'm gonna put it over here, because you know what? I'll show you when we do it. And that's gonna be another day, not tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. I'll be able to work on that. But we made great progress here today, guys. This video is almost done because I'm almost done with the kitchen, but there are a few more things that we need to work through. So I'll see you in a few days and we'll do that. Okay, friends, we are back and it is the next day and it is looking so good in here. I cannot believe this kitchen. It makes me so happy. We've got it all pretty much clean in here. I did my first little bit of cooking in here today, and we're getting pretty settled. I'm gonna use this. Let me back up really quick. I was laughing earlier because I remember yesterday saying, oh my gosh, there's so much cabinet space. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with it all. And I realized there's no pantry space in this house, at least up here. There's nowhere to put pantry items. And so I was looking at this cabinet space as places to store, you know, I don't know, cups and bowls and mugs and casserole dishes and pots and pans and Tupperware containers and all of that good stuff, spices and whatnot. I forgot, where am I gonna put all of my pantry stuff? So in terms of food items. So I just have this one. But I think that's okay. We don't really have a lot of like snacky pantry-y stuff. And then I do have the Lazy Susan down here, and I have at this point brought my baking items over here. So that's pretty well full. And we've got our spices up here, and then I'm using this for casserole dishes and parchment paper, cling wrap, aluminum foil, things like that. So, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I think that what we have going here is pretty decent. Now I want to talk to you about grain mill. So over here on this counter, it's in pretty good shape too. I have my KitchenAid stand mixer. There's a toaster here, but actually we're not going to keep that toaster because we have a toaster oven. The toaster oven is going to go here. And then I have a little tray here for chargers, phones, my iPad, things like that can hang out in this little tray here. I thought that was really cute. And this can be like our little keys and stuff, our little charging station. I was originally going to put the grain mill here. I don't think I'm going to anymore because there's this other spot that I think it would really go well. Let me show you. Okay, so you've got the kitchen, the sink is over here. On the other side of this little peninsula, there is cabinet space. There's a drawer and there are cabinets down here. And so I was thinking it would be a good thing to put my grain mill, and I have it, that's what's in this box, and there's an outlet right here. So I was thinking it would be a good idea to put my grain mill here. For aesthetic purposes, I would probably have it face this way, although practically it would make more sense to have it face this way. Maybe that would be fun. I'll try it and see. Well, no, because then the cord is going to be facing into the kitchen. So yeah, I'm going to do it like this. See if I can't hide that cord a little bit. I still can't decide if I want it facing this way or if I want it facing this way. This makes more sense, especially because the power switch is right here. And if I'm going to have all of my stuff in this cabinet, this makes the most sense, but I just don't think I'm going to want to look at it. So let me look at it from the other side. I don't think it looks too bad from over here as long as I keep the cord tucked in the side. That's okay. Now, in the dining room at the old house, I have big, what are those? Are those 5-gallon buckets? The big buckets with my wheat berries. And I buy 25-pound bags of wheat berries at a time. I have hard red wheat, hard white wheat, and soft white wheat. I'm not going to keep those big buckets in here. That doesn't make sense. So I think instead I'm going to use these just half-gallon ball mason jars to store my wheat berries. And I was originally thinking I'd have them down here in the cabinets, and that would work, and that does make sense, but these are going to be so pretty. Maybe I should, no, it won't fit there. Maybe I could do something like this, or, no, I don't really like that, I don't think. Maybe I could have these against the wall. That's kind of cute. I don't hate that. Does that look dumb? I kind of like it. Obviously they're empty right now. They'll have wheat berries in them. And then if you come over to the other side, this is what it looks like on the inside. And I do have it so that the cord is pretty minimal. Unless I'm standing at the sink, then I can see it. But maybe I could, I don't know, maybe I could put something decorative there at some point. But for now, I think I'm gonna leave it like this. I actually really like this, I think we're gonna go with this for now. And I will fill these with the wheat berries. I just have to bring those from the house. Okay, good, I like this solution. This was something that I really needed to work through because I had been thinking about this and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. All right, so now I have my buckets of grain from the old house, and I've got hard white wheat, soft white wheat, and hard red wheat. I've got my half-gallon glass jars, my dry erase marker, and I ended up kind of inheriting a bunch of measuring cups, which is cool because I have enough for each of these to get a measuring cup. Just something to pour out of it, so I think that's great. So we're going to start with the hard white. So that's all I'm going to write on here is hard white. And you can actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see it from that far away, but you can actually see that really well. So that's cool. And then I'm just going to actually put it right in here. And I've got little bowls in these 5-gallon buckets, so I'm just going to fill this up here. And then I do want the measuring cup to be able to fit in here, so I think that's probably good. Awesome. All right, and there you have it. I think that looks fantastic. So we've got hard white, soft white, and hard red. Hard red is actually the one I use most often. It's what I feed my sourdough starter with. So I've got that right here in the front, and I think this is gonna work out great. All right, well, that has my kitchen pretty well set up. Obviously, there's still a few things that need to happen in here, like the fridge and the freezer, and a few more things that need to get brought over. But for the most part, we're moved into this kitchen, and I really was excited to film this video because, like I said, we've done a lot of work together in that kitchen over the last few years at the old house, and it just feels like a new chapter. Even though this kitchen is temporary, it's still, I don't know, I'm feeling some type of way about it. So I definitely wanted to film it. I'm excited to see what we accomplish in this kitchen together. I have no idea how long we're even going to be here. So I don't know how long this will be my kitchen, but it is for now. And I appreciate you coming along this journey. So I can't wait to see you in my next video. Have faith, my friends, and keep moving forward. Bye.